As you can tell right now, the excavator contractor is approaching the job site. He's going to be looking for a place to park himself so he can get to work. We can see he's already on the right track. They're putting on their PPE. They're putting on their safety vest and glasses. They will most likely be cleaning off their vehicle. You can tell already they're starting to notice things out in the work area that it'd be good and mindful for us to look at. They see the pipeline markers. They see valves, valve boxes. So they know there's something in the area. We can see also that they have a paint stick in their hand. And that paint stick, they're carrying white, water-soluble paint. They're going to mark off the area they're going to be excavating. The practice of white lining has been instituted for a little bit now, and it's shown to be invaluable in keeping lines safe. By being able to accurately designate where you're going to be excavating, when the locator comes in, he knows exactly where to locate. And he can focus all his efforts on that specific area. After he's white lined, he's gone ahead, he's picked up his phone, and he's made the quick 811 call. Be sure to always call 811 before you dig, and then allow 3 days, 3 work days, not including weekends and holidays, for the locator to come in and locate the utilities. It's free and it's the law. He's getting his materials, he's getting his equipment, putting out his cone, the first priority. And he's got his yellow paint. He's surveying the area and he's noticing the key piece of information, where the area is white lined. Now he knows this is the area he has to focus on. As he's doing that, he's looking for a suitable place to connect his equipment. If any of you have any experience locating, you will know that locating is as much an art as it is a science. The way it technically works, and you will see here, Jerry's going to hook up his transmitter to the tracer wire, which is what we run with plastic line, and he's going to send a radio frequency down that cable. Once he sends that radio frequency with the transmitter, he will use his receiver to pick up that signal. In this case, we see that Jerry grabbed yellow paint because what he's locating is gas. Now, there are multiple utilities and each utility has a designated color. Gas is yellow, but so is petroleum, steam, or oil. Those are all yellow. Sewer and drain lines are going to be green. Potable water is going to be blue. Power or energy is going to be red. Telecommunications, orange. Reclaimed water and irrigation is going to be purple. And if you find yourself in a situation that you're going to be temporary survey marks, those would be in pink. And then if you're going to propose an excavation like we saw here, then you would use white paint. As you probably saw initially after you hooked up, the first thing you want to do is sweep the area so you can have a general sense of which way the pipeline is going. As he walks away, he will spot the line. And then on his return, as you see here, he will verify his spots and his marks, and he will double down with more paint. And then he's going to flag the area. Seems like today we might get rain, and those marks will be washed away. So using flags is going to help in keeping those marks there if there's any kind of weather to come in. Once again, his initial main focus was parking his vehicle in the safest place possible. having his PPE on, and securing his vehicle with cones. As he surveys the area, he realizes that good deal, it's been marked, but there's a gas line where he's going to be conducting his excavation. He sees that the marks are right there. So what does he opt to do in this case? He calls the operator back and asks for more support. Need to call the operator back and ask him to show up? That doesn't happen all the time, but do remember, if you are working around the gas transmission line or any kind of underground transmission line, you do need to have a representative from that company present there while you work around that pipeline. In this case, the locator and the crew is from the same company, so they're working in concert together to make sure they avoid damaging the line. This time we see a contractor pulling up to the job. He's surveying the job site. He's looking around. He's got a shovel in hand already. They've noticed the pipeline markers. They're using a little bit of a different approach though. They're lining up the pipeline markers and assuming that that's the only facility in the ground. They've seen the valves, but they feel that their excavation is going to be away from that utility they assume is within the pipeline marker. This is an extremely dangerous approach and completely inaccurate. Pipeline markers or flags do not show the diameter, exact location, depth, pressure of the pipeline. But it appears that this excavator doesn't care, doesn't want to call 811. He feels he does not have the time, so he's going to get ready to dig. Apparently he feels like he's in a bit of a rush. He's got to get this job done right now. And he hit the line. His spotter has gotten hurt and he's hobbling away. He's not going to make it. He's calling 911, and here comes the first responder. The police arrive on the scene. The excavator wanted to come in to save his spotter, but the police held him back because you do not go into a gaseous atmosphere. We now call the fire department. The fire department has now arrived on the scene, and it looks like they're making an assessment of the situation. They set up the command post. Notice they're wearing all their PPE in their response to this call. Given that this is not the ideal situation, it's pretty tight. The fire department is relatively close to the escape of the gas. Typically, they would stay further out to have a larger buffer. And they're getting ready to charge it up. As you can see, the fire department is going to go in to rescue the spotter. The EMS crew is now arriving. They are fanning to protect if there's any ignition source, so they can come in as a team and rescue and extricate the spotter. They are moving their spotter straight to EMS. He's going to be loaded into the ambulance and they will provide care and transport him to the hospital. He is now on site. If you look to your far right, you can see that a member of the emergency management office is already on site. After assessing the situation, the first responder for the gas company, he realized he needed some additional support to get the valve shut off. So he called in a crew, an additional crew from TSMC Energy. They're all donning their flash suits. Along with the flash suit, one of the key pieces of instrumentation that the first responder for the gas company has, it's a combustible gas indicator. This lets you know what's the gas concentration in the air to make sure that you're not in what we term a hot zone. They've regrouped, and they're going to be formulating a plan as to what to do to shut the gas off. And they got their valve wrench to shut off the gas. Now, sometimes it happens that on the damaged line, media shows up. And this is also the case here today. Let's listen in on their conversation.
Hi there, I'm with News Channel 40. Are you a representative of TSMC Energy?
Yes, my name is Eric Lockwood. I'm the spokesperson for TSMC Energy.
What happened?
We'll leave you my business card and my contact information. The company, this is what we do know. The company was digging in the area. They hit the natural gas line with a backhoe about 30 minutes ago. Our personnel arrived right approximately 1:05 p.m. today and are now working to secure the leak and make repairs. It's looking like around 60 to 80 customers will be temporarily losing natural gas service until the repairs are made. We may lose more customers.
We saw the ambulance. Someone injured? Was it someone from your company, or are they okay?
One of the contractors was injured. We don't know how at the moment. For further information, I would contact the employer or reach out to the hospital.
How dangerous are pipelines like this?
Well, the natural gas industry has the safest energy delivery system in the nation. The number one cause for incidents like these is damage from third parties.
So calling 811 is really important, I see. When will the incident be over the people without natural gas service on this cold, chilly day? When will roads be reopened? There's a lot of traffic.
Well, safety is our top priority. We are working diligently to secure the leak and quickly and safely as possible. I don't have an estimate right now to give you. The fire department will determine when the roads will be reopened. That's all the kind of information I have right now. I will follow up as I learn more. If you have any other questions, you can reach out to that 800 number that I gave.
Thank you very much, sir.
If the proper procedure would have been followed and the excavator would have called 811, then this whole second scenario wouldn't have happened. The spotter, instead of going to the hospital at the end of the day, he would have gone home. So think for a minute. Which scenario would you want to play out in your job? Is the risk of an injury or worse worth not making a phone call? Of course not. So in order to have a positive outcome like we had in the second scenario, let's recap what we've gone over today. First, always call 811 before digging. Remember, pipeline markers do not show diameter, depth, or exact location or pressure of the line. Some pipelines can be shut down remotely. However, do not turn these valves yourself. If required, contact the underground facility operator prior to the excavation so that they can be on site at the excavation if necessary. And finally, if a line strike occurs, do not rush into the product. abandon the equipment and move upwind from the incident. Call 911 and the operator listed on the pipeline marker. Thank you for participating with us in our mock emergency strike today. We hope this leaves you with a resonating impression of what can happen and how quickly things can go wrong when the proper protocols are not followed.